12-6, factor by grouping. I'm going to do numbers first before I get into variables. And if I did this and gave you this problem, you would say, hey, let's do parentheses first. And then you would say 9 minus 12, and you would get -3. Okay? If you see that 5 minus 2 is common to both terms, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull and undistribute this. So I'm going to have 5 minus 2 come out to 3 minus 4. And it does come out as a group. And 5 minus 2 is 3 times -1 is -3. So you're accustomed to doing it this way. But what you're going to do is you're going to undistribute or factor out a GCF using variables. Okay? Let's try it with some letters. So I'm going to look for what's in common. And if that's in common, I'm going to have this come outside. And then I basically undistribute or factor out. And then I have a W minus 8. So if you took this as a whole and you distributed that bunch to here, it would come to here. And if you multiplied this whole thing times -8, it would go here. Okay? Be on the lookout for things that look kind of the same. Now I'm going to rewrite this, and I'm going to factor out a negative. And so I'm going to put the 2 here, I'll factor out a negative, and then that would be -2 plus v. And because of commutative property, I can u v minus 2. I can combine this to be -2 and v minus 2. Now do you see that they have the same thing? So on the lookout when they are flip-flopped with the signs, except for the signs, you can do that. So I'm going to pull the v minus 2 out to the front, and I'm as a whole, and I'm going to distribute it to the u minus 2. Okay, I'm going to take some clumps, and I'm going to look at this clump, and I'm going to say, hey, I got some stuff that's in here that I can factor out. I can factor out a 4 and an x, and that gives me 3x minus 2y. And I look in here, and I can factor out a z. So -5, the z comes out, and I have 3x minus 2y. And then I notice the clump is the same, so I'm going to undistribute or factor it out. So 3x minus 2y. Now, it has to stay a clump, so protect it. And it's going to go distributing to 4x minus 5z. Now, these can be flip-flopped and do the parentheses matter? Yes, they do. Okay, in here, you're going to look to see if you can pull things out in groups. So I noticed that this and this have some commonality. So I'm going to pull out an x, and that would be x minus 2. And I'm going to add it, and I'm going to pull a y out of that clump. And I have x minus 2, which is nice because now this is common. So I'm going to undistribute it or factor it out as a clump, x plus 2. So this would come to here, and then this would come to here. That is page 1 of 12-6, factoring by grouping.